A little bit of funk for this Thursday. Good morning, good evening, whoever you may be, wherever you are. Today is December 29th, and here's the news, some of which you'll likely not hear elsewhere. Topics today include House Democrats ban TikTok on official devices ahead of full government ban. Freshman congressional Democrats outline a plan for the new session. An offshore wind power joint venture has been delayed. Biden administration is targeting Iranian drone industry. And in Russian news, Russia is employing electronic warfare to blind Ukrainian drones. U.S. and NATO call for restraint over the northern Kosovo conflict. And what is China up to? Well, they're increasing and sending larger incursions into Taiwan. And lastly, Japan is arming an island 110 kilometers from Taiwan. Let's get to it. The House and Senate are out of session and are scheduled to return on January 3rd, 2023. This should be interesting, and I will try to cover the clown show as much as possible. House banned TikToks on official devices ahead of full government ban. The House of Representatives banned the TikTok social media app on all House-managed devices ahead of a government-wide device ban. TikTok has already been banned from government-managed devices in the White House State Department and Department of Homeland Security, but apparently forgot about our governing bodies. In a memo, the House Chief Administrative Officer said the application was a high-risk security concern, ordering lawmakers and staffers to delete the application from official devices. Some officials and lawmakers stated that TikTok presents a national security threat, as Chinese government could use it for data collection and surveillance of Americans. Banning TikTok from official devices in the U.S. is just a component of the Biden administration's new strategy for maintaining a technological advantage over China. But no word on whether or not they will take action against Google and Apple's constant espionage on American citizens. Representative Democrat Greg Kasser will wield power as the Congressional Progressive Caucus whip in January, said newly elected progressives will push the Biden administration to enact priorities through executive actions. Newly elected progressives in the Democratic Party said they plan to use their time in the minority to shape priorities in anticipation of taking the House back in 2024. Who is Greg Kasser? Well, he's a former member of the Austin, Texas City Council, where he was known for his progressive and socialist ideas. Kasser was previously backed by Democratic Socialists of America, which withdrew their support following Kasser's support for federal aid in defense of Israel. The Congressional Progressive Caucus is a who's who of politicians with ties to Democratic Socialists of America, including all members of the Squad. It represents the socialist west wing of the Democratic Party. Kasser will be replacing the current caucus whip, Ilhan Omar. An offshore wind and power joint venture has been delayed. Mayflower Wind asked regulators for a delay in planning a proposed wind farm due to sharp spike in interest rates. Mayflower Wind is a part of the Biden administration's goal to power 10 million homes on the East Coast with offshore wind by 2030. Renewable energy and green infrastructure projects remain under duress due to high input costs, including financing and supply chain disruption. Solar projects have also hit delays, including allegations by the Department of Commerce that Southeast Asian solar firms are evading tariffs on Chinese solar components. The Biden administration is targeting Iranian drone industry. National Security Council spokesman Adrian Watson said the Biden administration is looking at ways to target Iranian drone production through sanctions, export controls, and discussions with U.S. companies whose components are used to construct the drones. According to the private investigation group Conflict Armament Research report, 82% of recovered components from Iranian-made drones in Ukraine were manufactured in the United States. In September, the Biden administration began levying sanctions against individual companies in Iran producing and selling drones to Russia. The Office of Foreign Assets Control and the Treasury Department also added Safaran Airport Services, a transportation company accused of facilitating drone sales to Russia, to the specially designated nationals list. Russia is employing electronic warfare to blind Ukrainian drones. According to a report from the Royal United Services Institute, or RUSI, Russian electronic warfare operations have successfully disabled the majority of Ukraine's drones. Ukraine reportedly gets only 3 flights from quadcopter drones and 6 flights from fixed-wing drones before they are downed by Russian jamming and countermeasures. According to the RUSI, over 90% of Ukraine's drone inventory has been shot down. Ukraine fighter pilots also report frequent jamming of air-to-ground and air-to-air ordnance systems, radar, and communications. Russia's successful employment of electronic warfare systems combined with direct fire countermeasures demonstrates that its military in Ukraine is working through past failures at coordinating effects-based weapon systems. U.S. and NATO are calling for restraint over northern Kosovo conflict. The U.S., NATO, and members of the European Union called for maximum restraint from Serbia and Kosovo over the brewing conflict in northern Kosovo between ethnic Serbs and Kosovo government forces. NATO's mission in Kosovo, KFOR, said it supported dialogue between the major warring parties to ease tensions, but it has not entered the conflict to date. Ethnic Serbs reportedly blocked major roadways with trucks and other heavy vehicles amid violent clashes with police this week. The Chinese are increasing and sending larger incursions on Taiwan. In December, China increased the frequency of large air defense identification zones, ADIZ incursions, the size of the incursions, the largest flotilla near Taiwan, and the frequency. December also saw ADIZ incursions that crossed from the southwest of Taiwan to the southeast. Previously, flights were limited to small crossings north or southwest of the island. China had 7 ship flotillas near Taiwan twice this month, which is more significant than most U.S. Navy carrier strike groups. December also saw days where no incursions of any kind occurred, indicative of China's squeeze and release policy to normalize more radical swings in force posture near Taiwan. Significant attacks with 20 or more aircraft, more than 4 ships, and now occurring at least once a week are becoming more extensive. China will likely continue this quick squeeze and release policy until they mount a force large enough to blockade the island. And lastly, Japan is arming an island 110 kilometers from Taiwan. Japan is expanding its base on Yonaguni Island, just 110 kilometers from Taiwan, adding a surface-to-air missile battery. That's it for this Thursday report, and hopefully I'll see you tomorrow.